At about 1 a.m. on August the 14th, 2022, Jimmy Church was on the second floor balcony of his house in Palmdale, California, using a night vision device to look for UFOs. He spotted some to the north and started filming them. On November the 3rd, he shared the video on Twitter, and someone, sorry I can't find who, suggested to me that it might be the same Starlink flares that pilots had been seeing and mistaking for planes flying in racetrack patterns. A Starlink flare happens when sunlight reflects off a flat surface on a Starlink satellite. These particular flares are sunlight reflecting off the bottom of the satellite, which is parallel to the curve of the Earth, and so the reflection mostly misses the ground, which is why, up until now, only pilots at high altitudes had reported them. But Jimmy's night vision device was able to see the much dimmer flares that were visible from the ground. Over on Metabunk, we noticed that these flares were mostly observed when looking north, towards the Big Dipper, with the sun directly below the satellites. Due to the tilt of the Earth, there's always some satellites that are in sunlight in the summer, when viewed from Palmdale and similar latitudes. Jimmy gave me the approximate time of the video, and Flarkey used the inthesky.org site to get an exact match of two flaring satellites at the start of the video. Flarkey also found the correct historical Starlink position data using spacetrack.org, and I loaded this into Stellarium. I identified the stars in the video. The bright one on the left is Dubhe, part of the Big Dipper, and I used the stars to overlay a screenshot of the video onto Stellarium. I set the time and pressed play. Result? All of the flaring lights line up with Starlink satellites, in the exact same spot and at the exact same speed. Interestingly, neither inthesky.org nor Stellarium thought that all these satellites would be visible. This is because they are right on the edge of sunlight, so any small variation in the calculated shape of the Earth or errors in accounting for atmospheric refraction could put a satellite in or out of shadow. But since we see they match perfectly, we know that the sun is actually hitting them. These are all Starlink satellites. These Starlink flares are only dimly visible from the ground, but are a lot brighter seen from 40,000 feet from a plane. So we are going to continue to get reports of these moving lights from pilots for the next few years until everyone is aware of the issue. So I suggest that the FAA and the airlines issue advisories to air traffic control and to pilots to minimize distractions and disruption. The frequency of reports will lessen over the winter due to the tilt of the Earth being away from the sun. But if nothing is done, then this exact same flurry of reports will flare up again next summer. If you want to learn more, I've put a link to the Metabunk discussion in the video description, and there's also a link to the full version of the synchronized video with the Stellarium simulation.